Round 6 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Portugal. MX2 race 1, and it was Jorge Prado with his 7th foxhole shot of the season. Darian Sinai fell in turn 2. Was trampled on by almost the rest of the pack, but it was Chervelin who quickly got into second on his Yamaha ahead of Henry Jacobi, Mitch Evans and Thomas Kjær-Olsen. Jacobi, in no mood for hanging around, quickly surged past the Italian into second. And a couple of laps later, Thomas Olsen also moved past the 747 into third. The Italian then fell spectacularly on lap 7, and he was out of the race. Final couple of laps, Olsen nudged his way past Jacobi to get into second. He then fell, and it was a win, though, for Jorge Prado for the 9th time this year ahead of Olsen, Geerts, Evans and Boisramé. MXGP race 1, Tony Cairoli on the right-hand side, squeezed his 2 main rivals, but it was Cairoli with his 8th foxhole shot of the season. Geiser quickly into second, Tonus well placed in third. Tonus and Siwa also inside the top 4 or 5 positions, but Gauthier Paulin would fall on the opening lap from 4th position, top of your screen. He picked himself up, rejoined the race at the back of the grid, and he surged his way back to 15th. Meanwhile, Paul Jonas got himself in the 7th on the opening lap. He would eventually finish in 7th. Late on in the race, Tonus up the inside of Siwa to get himself into 3rd. That was just before the halfway point. Cairoli led, but then he made a mistake as Geiser started to apply the pressure. Geiser didn't need a second invite. Cairoli tried on several attempts to find his way back in front, but it was Geiser who held strong to come home for his 4th race win of the year. Cairoli was second, Tonus, Siwa and Levy top 5. MX2 race 2. This time it wasn't the KTM that grabbed the foxhole shot. Instead, it was Rowan van der Moosdijk on the Kawasaki. By the time we reached turn 2, though, Prado was in control, but not for long. The number 43, Mitch Evans on the Honda from Australia, took over the lead. And late down the laps for the first 4 rounds to keep the number 61 of Prado at bay. Another poor start for number 19, Thomas Olsen. This was the pass that Prado put on Evans to get himself in a second. Into the lead, sorry, but Olsen having to work hard just to get back on terms. He split the 2 Yamahas of Chervelin and Maxime Renault, eventually got clear into 5th place. As the 2 Yamahas battled, Chervelin finished 7th and Renault finished 9th. Evans was hanging on to 2nd, but again, no move for messing around. Jacobi surged his way into that 2nd place with about 5 laps to go. Olsen had to be content with 4th after that pass on Rowan van der Moosdijk, but it was Prado who was victorious once again. Jacobi 2nd, Evans 3rd, Olsen 4th, van der Moosdijk was 5th. 2 more wins for Prado, his 5th Grand Prix win in 2019, his 20th career win in total. Olsen 2nd, Evans 3rd, his first podium since Argentina, round 1. Prado is your new championship leader, though. 3 points the gap between him and Olsen as we head to France. Jacobi still there in 3rd. But what a Grand Prix we had here in Portugal.
Yeah, I really wanted to win here, both motos in front of all this crowd and, you know, get the red plate. So now that I have it, I will try to keep it till the end of the season. It's not easy, but I'm working hard and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Great weekend.
MXGP race 2. Tony Cairoli up the inside, but it was number 4 of Arno Tonus who just bagged the foxhole shot, his first of the season. A couple of riders went crashing out turn 1. Bar bang in action in turn 2, caught out Julian Lieber as his teammate Desal led in the early stages of the race. Geiser on the charge early, moved up into 4th with that pass on Siwa, then into 3rd with that move on the number 4 of Tonus. He went after Cairoli and Desal. Cairoli sensed the danger. He moved aside the Belgian, and pretty soon he was followed by the 243 of Geiser. They were now 1st and 2nd. Desal was in 3rd. Just like race 1, though, a mistake from Cairoli. The bottom one of the hills, he lost the front, he went down, picked himself up in 4th position, but it was Geiser who now led from Desal and Tonus. Tonus up the inside of Desal, got himself into 2nd on his Yamaha. Cairoli in exactly the same place. He took the lead earlier on in the race, made that move on to Sal to get third, and then he went after the number 4 of Tonus. This pass was for second, again after several laps of trying, but Geiser was already too far ahead on his Honda. Geiser crossed the line for his 5th race win of the season, his 2nd double in 2019. 17 career wins now for Geiser. Cairoli 2nd with 2 seconds. Tonus 2 thirds, his first podium in 2 years since round 4 Trentino of that year. Cairoli continues to hold the championship lead, though that gap now 34 points between him and Geiser. Paulin losing ground this weekend. He's now 54 points back in 3rd. But a fantastic weekend for Team HRC and Tim Geiser. Cairoli continues to lead though as we head to France, round 7.
Yeah, I'm so happy. Last weekend we were struggling. Didn't try it well, but this week we regroup and had an amazing race, so I'm really thankful and want to say a huge thank you to all my team. All the fans, also some fans from Slovenia came here, so it's nice to see Slovenian flags and just everybody around me. We work really hard for this and I'm so happy. Yeah.